Fresh. New York's Fresh.
102.7.
Not too old.
Not too light.
Well, really thrilled to have our next guest with us. I couldn't believe this when I saw this. Sold more tickets than The Police, Tina Turner, Coldplay, and the American Idol's live tour. I mean, this is quite a resume you've got already.
Well, if it's any consolation, I would have loved to have seen any of those acts actually over.
3 Grammy Awards. The 8th album is out right now, American Saturday Night. Came out this past Tuesday, and the new single is Then. 10 consecutive #1 single. Our guest is Brad Paisley. So thanks so much for coming in.
Man, I'm tickled to be here. It's fun to talk to you guys up here.
This is a major resume you've got.
Well, we made it up, but it's it's certainly hearing you read that makes me nervous.
Well, you've done so much, and you're still relatively young, and
relatively speaking,
it puts the pressure on for the rest of your life, I guess.
It does. It's weird. It's it's all right. I'm really it's fun to be at this point where more than anything, people are buying tickets. That's when it's fun.
Now, is there anything else on your to-do list after having that list of accomplishments on there, or have you just kind of scratched the surface?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm a little young for a bucket list at this point, but it's there's a lot of things like collaborations yet to come. You never know, and things left to write about. Really,
you've been writing songs though for a long time.
Long time now, yeah, since I was about 12, and it's really it's a thrill to be able to have an ear. That's the nice thing, is that now as I write something, I know someone's going to hear it.
You came from a musical family, or?
No.
Well, then how did that come about, that you just start writing music? Usually you hear about people, my family, everyone was into music, everyone was playing.
I don't know. I don't know really how that came about. That's a good question. I was about 12, and I wrote a song and went into my parents and said, hey, listen to this. And it was a Christmas song, and looking back, it was pretty good. It was, I've written worse lately.
Is it on the new CD?
No.
You could put it on, maybe.
I did it on my Christmas album, and actually I did a duet with myself at 12.
Oh,
I used a radio
That's
tape
so cool.
to start it of me when I was 12, and then went to me now.
And you said your grandfather gave you that first guitar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was the only musical part of the family. He actually could play a little bit.
So how's the support been from him and the rest of the family?
Well, he passed away actually in the 80s, but the rest of the family is they're pretty ecstatic. I mean, I can get them Jonas Brothers tickets. They're happy.
That's the main thing, right? You got a lot
Exactly.
of like young kids in your family who'd love that.
Yeah,
sure.
Oh yeah. Anytime you're connected, it's like they don't really care about me, but it's all of the perks that come along with knowing somebody who's doing okay.
So how's everything going on the tour? The American Saturday Night tour is out right now.
It really is great so far. I mean, it was strange to start. We started about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And it was strange to start promoting an album and do tour dates before the album was out. That I have a feeling that next week's shows start a whole different era.
So do people just kind of look with a perplexed look, like, what's that song?
Well, they get this look, when you've had a bunch of hits and they come to hear those, they get this look of like, he's gonna, okay, we don't know this. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like you're obligated to deliver those songs that they want to hear? I mean, especially being that they hadn't heard the CD yet.
Well, no, yeah, I definitely didn't take out any hits. But, I mean, in the spaces where we had album cuts off of my last album, we put new album cuts in. And those, it started to feel like hits because they had that album.
Right.
So those, the show went from feeling like you could do no wrong to every now and then going, let's cross our fingers. And it's going to be.
But that's kind of almost like almost a focus group, because they've never heard the music.
It is, you're right.
And then you're playing the song, they're hearing it for the first time, and do you get a sense like halfway through the song of whether, okay, they're really digging this or maybe not?
Definitely. And I was smart about it, I think, in that I chose some of the fun up-tempo stuff to put in. I didn't put the the things they don't know that are sort of a little more heady.
Right.
So it went well, but it's going to be a whole different ball game in a week. In a week or two, there'll be an audience full of people that hopefully have it.
Yeah, and then it's a whole different reaction. Then they know. Then they're singing, mouthing along the lyrics before you are.
Exactly. Well, that'd be nice.
Now, performing live versus recording, it's a whole different process. Do you consider yourself more of a performer, or do you like the whole studio thing, or?
Oh, I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, as far as a performer goes, I think that that's where that's more enjoyable. I mean, I love recording. That's actually a lot of fun. But the whole time I'm recording, I'm thinking about where am I going to do this?
Right.
You know.
Because sometimes you could record yourself into a corner and say, how am I going to perform this live?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm trying to think of the records like that over the past, but, you listen to some of those massive things that people like Madonna have cut,
Right.
It's like,
and then,
what in the world, how in the world?
Well, then it becomes all sampling and
exactly.
recorded stuff, and you're not performing it.
And you're cheating. But it's like, in this case, I always try to cut stuff that is my band in the studio that we can pull off the 8 of us on stage.
That's what I think people who go to concerts really appreciate, when they go to a show and it sounds good, or if not better than what they had on the album.
Well, that's and different too. I don't want to go to a concert and have it feel like they're playing the CD. I want to hear a new arrangement to something,
or a longer take on one part of a song.
Well, you can always plan on that with us, because we're a jam band and I'm a solo guitar player. So it's like, that solo on Then or whatever at the end, which fades out due to a radio edit.
You're going to get your money's worth
when
you
go
to the show.
Of that song.
Fresh. New York's Fresh.
102.7.
Not too old.
Not too light.